Welcome to Students of Life, where healing ain't cute, but it's necessary.
Where growth gets uncomfortable, but staying stuck isn't an option.
We're not here to preach. We're here to process out loud in real time.
No titles, no masks, just truth, transformation, and a whole lot of accountability.
I'm Erica.
I'm Courtney, and we're all just students of life.
Class is in session. Hey y'all, this is Erica with Students of Life Podcast. If you're finding value in the Students of Life Podcast, we'd love your support. Your support allows us to grow and continue bringing you meaningful content. You can show your support by checking out our exclusive merchandise at studentsoflifepodcast.com. Every purchase not only gives you something unique to wear, but also directly fuels the podcast growth. Prefer to donate? That's cool. Just hit the donate button on our homepage. Every bit of support helps us expand, reach more listeners, and dive even deeper into the topics that matter most to you.
Welcome to the Students of Life Podcast. And I am your host, Courtney. And with me, again, is my lovely wife.
Hi.
Erica. How you doing, baby?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Anything going on good in your life right now?
I got a new car.
Fortunately, but unfortunately.
That's the good. You said good. I only listed the good. That's the good.
Yeah. And you hurt your fingers in the process, but...
Broke my hand.
You did. But it's literally coming together well now.
It's getting there.
Yeah.
It's getting there. 4 weeks later, but we're getting there.
Yeah. I want to mention something. And that's something crazy you did. It wasn't long ago when we went on vacation. You remember when we went on vacation? We just went not long ago, South Carolina, right?
Charleston, yes.
Yeah, we did. On our way back home. You might not remember, but I'm going to, rekindle your brain with this one.
I didn't do anything crazy.
You did. The thing you did was a woman thing. This was a woman thing you did. I was fixing to get us water out of the back seat. Not just water, but coconut water that was in a box taped up. Okay? It was in a box taped up. And I went in there. I'm like, hey, baby, you want some water? You're like, no, it's hot as hell. I don't want none of that. I said, you sure you don't want any? You're like, yeah. Yeah, I don't want any. It's hot. I don't want no hot water. So I got me some coconut water. Got into the car. We was driving. I'm drinking it. You're like, I am so thirsty. I said, I told you I would have gotten you some. I said, I would have gotten you some water. I'm like, why didn't you take the water when you said it? Well, I was difficult. You should have did it anyway. I'm like, if I had gotten you the water, you know what you would have said? I don't want this hot ass water. I don't know why you gave it to me anyway. We should have stopped.
Well, we should have stopped for cold water.
But the water wasn't cold. I mean, it wasn't hot. It wasn't even warm.
I disagree.
But the whole gist of this is you knew you were difficult. You literally said it. You're like, I'm difficult.
I don't believe I said that.
You did.
I don't think I did.
So fellas, this is for the fellas. They know they're difficult as hell for no reason. So that's why we ignore them.
First of all, any married man knows that his wife is difficult. That is not a secret, right? So that being the case, y'all should just do the stuff.
But technically, I did.
And I'm going to tell you why you should just do it. Because I guarantee you, as a wife, I know when you tell me, no, I don't want this, or not really, and I go ahead and do it. You know what always happens? What literally always happens? You're like, yeah, I did want that. No shit. So we expect y'all to have the same common sense we had.
Yeah, I don't do that, though.
You a lie and a half.
It might be something like within the house, but like stuff like that, no. I know me. I don't do stuff like that.
I didn't say stuff like that. I'm just speaking in generalities.
And it's more, generalities. I can't use generalities, but you can.
No, because you use them for everything. This was one example.
I just try to make sense of the world.
Okay.
All I'm saying is you knew you was being difficult. For no reason. All you had to do was just say yes. Yes.
Tomato.
No, really, it's not. But whatever. Go for it. What are we doing today?
Today, we are talking about the need for people to stop believing that they know everything.
Yes. Keep going. What we got?
So, a lot of people, I think, tend to forget the fact that as we grow, we mature, and as we do that, we have to let old things go.
Yeah.
The knowledge you had last year is not going to help you in the same position you're in this year. You've gained knowledge from 2024 to 2025. Any beliefs you had that you were able to disprove, let that shit go. Don't bring it along with you. Cut it off.
Yeah, we have to do that. We need to understand old thinking does not create new outcomes.
Ever.
It just don't do that.
Ever. It's never going to work.
No, I was having a conversation with a friend not long ago. And that conversation was let's put it like this. It was in the realm of business to a degree, just to frame a way of thought, to make our conversation go. But the comparison was, a manager to a CEO. And say, for instance, the mindset that it takes to become a manager is not the same mindset that it takes to become a CEO. That's a totally different mindset that you have to do that. It's not too much different from becoming and being a regular employee to becoming a manager. That's totally different. Or operations manager. You have to obtain a totally different mindset to operate a business that an employee does not have to worry about. An employee only has to worry about his or her task.
Exactly.
That's it. Operations management is the numbers and the function of an entire system. Well,
so
it's different.
It is, but it's funny you brought that up because, as everyone knows, I'm a director of operations for a company. And I started at 18, right? Someone who was sitting at the desk. All my tasks were aligned for me every day. I knew what to do from 8 to 4:30, right? Then you go from that to being a supervisor. Well, so some of the things, the functions of what I did every day helped me be a supervisor. Mm-hmm. But then I learned management skills, which means some of that stuff I knew I couldn't bring with me because it's not relevant. It doesn't correlate. It doesn't work. And then going from a supervisor to a manager, I got to keep the management things that I learned. I got to keep, the skills on how to deal with people, conflict resolution, all of that. But me knowing how to do the back end work is no longer relevant because I don't do it anymore. Right. So you have to kind of cut some things off to make room for new stuff. And then going from a manager to a director is a completely different world. I went from a manager having just a very small team of people to a director with 50 employees, 2 managers, 3 supervisors. And at this point, I've lost count of my clients, right? But I'm stretched from St. Louis to Baton Rouge. So I do the entire Deep South and then the Midwest part of Missouri.
That's correct.
But in doing that, I have learned being in this role, this is my second time being a director, right? The first time I didn't know what I needed to know. This time, I've had people to sit down with me and mentor me and tell me what I needed to do while allowing me to figure it out, right? So in figuring out, one thing I've learned is the foundations for what I do, the laws, regulations, all that I learned years ago, I still need that. Everything else is a waste of fucking time.
Yeah.
I can't do anything with it.
Also, with that, did you have a hard time transitioning from the employee to like that manager? I think you did because
I did.
Because you still wanted to do the work.
Yeah.
It was still innate in you to do what you started out doing. So it's hard to separate from that. That's the old way. Going into a new way of doing things, it's hard to separate.
Yes. But I've realized part of my issue there was I wanted to do the work. Don't judge me, y'all, because other people didn't do it the way I did it. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't effective. It wasn't efficient. And it took too damn long. So it's like, I can do this manager job and still do your job. What are you here for? Right? And that's not how you look at things.
No.
That's not how you go about it at all.
And that's because everybody is not Erica.
Well, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, you know what? You say
Everybody
that.
ain't Courtney.
You say that, but my Alex, my girl, is a close second.
Oh,
She's
right.
right there, but there's nobody else like us, though.
Right, but over time, we know what you end up having to do. You had to cultivate those people to be
I did.
what you needed to do.
I did.
You had to show them how to be that.
I did. And
so that's what they happen.
It is, but also what's crazy with that is, speaking of cultivating people, I think you have to realize that even though you see a vision for someone and you see something that you think they would be good at or great at because they have potential, even with you sitting down holding their hand, unless they see it too, it's irrelevant. And that translates to everyday life.
But that's also dealing with what we're talking about. People are stuck in
their old ways,
in an old way of how to operate. And what's so crazy about that, with that mindset, they're stuck into believing they're only one way. Yeah. That I'm only like this.
They're boxed in and they can't see outside of the box.
I can't do that right there.
Yeah.
People don't see the vision even for themselves. And so what you did was help people along the way see better for themselves so they can perform better. And that's exactly what it is. That's what you did. An accountability and performance coach, if you will. Yeah, I mean, it's what you do. That is what I do. I help people bring out the best of themselves. But what's crazy is, you also have people who overhype themselves, who think that they are more than what they are, who think that their confidence. All right, y'all, hold on. I want to say this real quick. Being someone who was in upper management, I know y'all see on social media all the time, have the confidence, apply for all the jobs. Don't do that. I have embarrassed people in interviews on purpose because don't do that. Don't lie. Because if you don't know what you're doing, it's going to show. But you know what they call that though, right? What do they call that? The Dunning-Kruger effect. Yes. That's what it is. People with high confidence has low capabilities. And then on the other side, you have people with high capabilities. And low confidence. But low confidence. Yeah. That's the Dunning-Kruger effect. And we deal with people like this all the time. People in life come up like this. So what you're talking about is the Dunning-Kruger effect. But that side right there, the high confidence, low competence, them people are very irritating. Baby, when I tell you. Them folks are irritating as hell. Courtney, those people are the reasons why the 2 times out of my 21-year career have been called HR. Those people. Right. Mainly because they don't like you telling them you're all the way wrong. Nothing about your thought process or how you're doing this is correct. And now all of a sudden, I'm bullying you. Correct. Because I'm calling your bullshit out. I'm bullying you. I can't help it you dupe the folks before me. Not my problem. Again, when someone is a 21-year vet in what they do, seen it all, done it all, that shit don't work. Well, Erica, it's not too much different from the episode we had. I don't think that it was, what is it, the last episode, Limiting Beliefs? Yeah. I think it was Limiting Beliefs. We had that conversation, and you know exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, you had a little Dunning-Kruger in you sometimes, I do, but it's not the overconfidence part. It's more so like I can't do that. Like, I don't think I should be doing this. But you don't want to step down either. Right. You don't want to back down from the challenge, but it's okay. It's all right. To be fair, though, I've never failed. But like I said, you got a little Dunning-Kruger in you. Like Captain Morgan, you put the leg up. I got a little captain in me. Yeah. So how do you deal with that, though? How do you deal with it? With the people or myself? No, not yourself. Like when we're coming across people, who are way more confident than they should be. And like this right here. I know I just asked you a question, but it's very irritating because I come across these scenarios a lot where people they always lead with, I know. You say something and they say, oh, I know. Okay, so do you want a corporate answer or the honest answer? Oh, I don't give a shit about corporate. That's not why we're here. Honestly, I break them. Yeah. That's it. That's it. Because if you're constantly telling me, I know, and you keep making the same dumbass mistakes, or you keep bringing up the same dumbass issues, or you keep repeating yourself like a loop or a cycle, then I just start hitting you with facts.
because you can't dispute facts. Okay, so if you know this, if you know A, then why'd you do B? If you knew A, then why the hell we all the way over here at Z? But you know that, right? And this is my conversation. That's how I talk to them. But you knew that, right? So that means you knew that and you still did it anyway, which makes you're obviously stupid or you're lacking something somewhere. Because if you knew it and you still did it,
man, that's goddamn
now
harsh.
we have a problem.
That's pretty harsh.
It is. But by that time, I'm irritated because I've been nice to you for weeks at a time, trying to get you, hey, turn this boat around.
Oh, but you know how, but this goes into another conversation that we had, and we have this one on a regular basis, is that people don't understand what the hell you saying until shit hits the fan.
Yeah.
People don't understand until things broke and, you know, and can't be corrected no more. That's when people finally want to listen. Yeah. You know, and after it's difficult to correct.
Absolutely. And then it becomes well, I thought I knew. Nah, bullshit. You didn't think you know, because for weeks I told you, hey, that's not how we do it. Like, let me show you. And I am one who I have no issue getting in the trenches with people. I will sit down with you. I will hold your hand. I will sit with you side by side till we get this right. But as we're going, if you keep telling me that the way you're doing it is right, when I'm sitting here with you holding your hand saying, hey, stop right there at that step. Let's back up a little bit. Based on law X, Y, and Z, you can't do that, baby. Let me show you why. Let me show you in real time what'll happen if you do that. And you still do it, you deserve whatever he that gives to you.
No, but people do this. We know, we've come across people who do this all the time. They always leave with, I already know. And this is the part that gets under my damn skin. If you already know, your life will be a reflection of you already knowing. Period.
It's either that or you're an idiot. Which one is it?
People don't like to accept the reality that things ain't going their way.
Yeah.
You know, and they always hide behind I already know. But again, the life never reflects that. You know, like, you know, say for instance, if, you know, you're a shit parent. If you're a shit parent and
it's going to show your children
and and somebody tells you how to navigate a situation and you say you already know, but if you already knew, why is this not a reflection within your kids? If you already know.
Or, you know, I think the other side to that could honestly be, so if you know this, but you're not instilling this, then you don't give a fuck about your children. You don't care about their outcomes, right? Like, if you know this, but you're not teaching this, or I hate when I hear folks say, well, excellence is the expectation. You're not teaching these kids to be excellent. Because you're teaching them all the baggage and bullshit you carry. You're not teaching them quality things. And because of that, now we're stuck in yet another loop.
But that is a reflection of individuals, but that is taking old way of doing shit. Like, yeah, I already know, as if it's that simple. I want you to understand. Is it simple sometimes? If you break it down to its simplest form, it can be. But these scenarios are never as easy as we believe they are, especially when we're dealing with other humans.
Right.
But the reason being is this right here. Is because, say for instance, although it may be working well for Courtney, but the fact that I got to deal with Erica and she operates on a different system than I do, I need to understand how Erica operates so I can tap into the best parts of Erica so we can get the best outcome, period. But if I never address it like that, no, I know this shit is fixing to go foul. So when I see people talking like that, that shit really does get under my skin. Stop leading with you know all the time. Because if you know, your life would be showing that. Or say, for instance, what you're talking about would be a reflection of what you already know. So obviously, you don't know.
You know, I think
you're full of shit.
You are full of shit. And I think that people get comfortable with their outdated ass mindsets. And we wonder why folks are pissed off, mad, frustrated, irritated. It's because you're comfortable being, this is just being blunt, y'all. You're comfortable being dumb because you got people around you telling you, hey, let's not do it that way. Right? Like, hey, I was talking to this person or that person and their situation is similar. Let me tell you how we navigated them getting out of this. And instead, we're giving these solutions because you're a coach and so am I. You give people solutions and they tell you, oh, well, I already knew that. Then why the fuck you on my couch? Why are you here?
Yeah.
If you know all this, why are you wasting my time? Because and those kind of people are the kind that coaches can't help. And it takes therapists forever to get through. My job is to kick you in the back and kick you off this porch and say, hey, let's do this. And in doing that, it's very important that we recognize these people have very, not just outdated mindsets, but they're very negative and toxic to everything else around them because they're not open to learning anything new. Also,
and we'll try to get into that a little bit, but no one, I ain't gonna say no one, what we don't do a good job at is admitting that we've been living by a lot of myths.
Yes.
We don't do well by that.
Yes.
Like this right here. And because at the beginning of this conversation, I was saying that I was having a conversation with a friend not long ago. And it's one of those outdated principles that hard work gets you the results that you want. All you got to do is push a little bit harder. It's a damn lie.
It's an absolute lie.
That's, that's an antiquated way of thinking, and it don't. And I told him, I'm saying, that's a myth. Like, it's a lot of people who work their ass off, work very hard. Say, for instance, we'll just use this for example. A single mother who got 2 jobs. She works her ass off, but it does not equate to a better life.
Right, because she's not sure what to do with it.
She don't know what to do with it. Mm-hmm. So we've ended up, defining our life off of myths, and they have not been generating the outcome that we desire. It hadn't been doing that. And so we definitely got to work on identifying what the hell a myth looks like to a degree. Yeah. And so the myth itself is an old way of doing stuff.
Yeah. And speaking of myths, don't shoot me, y'all. I think that the things that we perceive as biblical truths need to be reevaluated and updated for today.
No, for real. You know what? It's one thing, and people can't get mad at us about this, but this is not attacking religion. It's attacking the mindset behind it. It's, the principles are timeless and they always mean something, but it's not like, say for instance, it requires a different approach for today. It was designed and developed for a culture 2,000 plus years ago.
Yes.
But now we're in the 21st century. You can't bring 2,000-year-old, issues into the 21st century and expect to have some type of resolution to the issue. I'm not going to say it don't work like that, but you will never get the best outcome. So what does that look like? And what does that mean? You really have to adapt those principles to today. Mm-hmm. You have to be able to do that. And so I personally believe that a lot of those ideals that we've brought from biblical perspectives and concepts, the old ones, and we still adapt it to today, we carry that mindset with everything that we do. I know it. I see it. Matter of fact, like when I talk to people, especially if they're overly religious, they don't even sound like people no more.
They sound like robots. Like they're just regurgitating what they've heard, what they've learned their whole life.
Right. They sound like a system.
Yeah.
So say for instance, I can't say what's the name of it, a religious institution. Mm-hmm. They sound like the institution itself. They don't sound like humans no more.
They do.
And so they take those old principles and they adopt them into today as if it's going to serve you the same way in the 21st century, and it doesn't. But does that mean that you can't do that? That it can't be adapted for today? Yes, it can. But it can't be what it was designed for. What it was designed for was literally another culture. It was designed for another culture, for a different time.
Yes.
We have to adapt that for the 21st century. And it still is just as priceless as it always been. But we have to adapt it for today so it can serve us properly.
I agree with you. And I think one thing that I was laughing as you were talking because
I saw that.
Because
that pretty smile.
We live so creepy. We live in the Bible Belt, right? And we live in the Deep South. We're in Mississippi. So in the Deep South, there is nothing worse than a person who grew up like Southern Baptist who now has to talk about today's issues. You know what I'm saying? Like, because baby, that hellfire and brimstone, it runs deep in them. It's damn near in their veins. And it's hard to break away from it, right? So I feel like in that regard,
boiling over.
It is, but I feel like in that regard, you have pastors But we have a close friend who's a pastor.
Yeah, we do.
And I absolutely love him. He's probably the only church that I would go to often, even though we don't.
He's going to be on the show real soon. We just got to schedule you guys.
But having him as a friend, and someone who's a pastor, he is leading people. Like, yes, the Bible's the foundation and this and that, but I have sat on his pews many, many times, and he often discusses the Bible, but in today's terms.
That's correct.
And he gives people a new way to think about it. And I feel like as a leader of a church, that is your job. Your job is to help people today, not to regurgitate to what happened to James, John, and all of them back in the day. Right?
Why you have to say it like that, though?
What?
St. Peter, St. Paul.
All them. You know what I'm saying? Like, all of them people. St. Peter and St. Paul ain't helping you today, bruh. St. Peter and St. Paul ain't helping with bombs over Baghdad today. You know what I'm saying?
Over Iran.
I mean, like, for real. You know what I'm saying? Like, so the thing is, you need people. If you're going to be a leader of people, especially a Christian leader, then it's very important for you to be able to break away from old habits, from old indoctrination of yourself. And he is the only person that I have seen that has done that, honestly.
All right. Question. Do you think that misapplying old methods to modern problems leads to spiritual and practical frustration?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. And again, living deep south, Bible Belt, right? You and I know people our age who struggle with the life they want to live today, and they feel guilty because they grew up on a church pew and people tell them, you're going to go to hell if you believe this. Bro, if I'm going to hell, then you know what? So be it. Fuck it. YOLO. But I'm not sitting here and following the same Bible that was written, like you said, 2,000 plus years ago, that's had umpteen damn edits. And you expect me, an intelligent person in 2025, to live my life based on some shit where they didn't even have air conditioning and lights in the house.
I don't think that's the problem, though. I don't think that's the problem. It's how it's adapted. That's the issue that we face today. It's not that it exists. The principles are eternal. You know what I'm saying? It's eternal.
But that's why I keep saying
it hits home.
The principles are foundational and they're great. And I do think that they serve their purpose.
They do.
My problem is just like this. People not growing with the times, right? My issue is people trying to apply those old practices to life today. You can't do it because it doesn't correlate. It's not the same thing.
It's like this right here. One of the major issues that I've personally noticed that I've diagnosed over time, because I'm always reading, studying, and looking at folks and how they operate.
Okay, Dr. Lewis.
Shit, might as well be. Just call me Doc now. Everybody. Okay, I like that. Matter of fact.
You know what? Stop. No.
Okay, I'm not going to
You're doing too much. What were you saying?
All right, like I'm saying, what we don't really understand is this, or pay attention to, is that one of the greatest issues is we don't see how much things evolve with time.
Yeah.
Say for instance, I use marriage for an example. Right? How mama and daddy or somebody's mother and father were. It's not, and how they were married does not equate to how we should do it today.
Absolutely not.
The same principles that they live by when they came up and what worked for them then don't work with us now. Mm-hmm. Why? Because things have evolved. Mm-hmm. And a big part of me, I also believe too that their relationships could have been better if they had they
evolved a little bit.
If they had evolved a little bit. But they always stayed stuck in a certain era and time in which they did their marriages, and it didn't work long term. Mm-mm. And so what even they didn't realize is that how things evolved. People who got married like in the 60s, like 50s, 60s, 70s, they had a certain mindset. And not saying that you can't have a good marriage. That's not what I'm saying. But what we need to do is be able to adopt a new mindset to say, you know what, things have evolved, and not only do things evolve.
People have to evolve.
But the person that's across from me has evolved, and I lose touch with them. That's the issue.
It's funny you brought that up because you've heard it. I hear it all the time, probably more than you, because people are comfortable saying this kind of shit to me for some reason. Eric, I love you and Courtney's marriage. It's so traditional. It's not.
It's not.
It's not.
It's not.
You know, maybe from the outside looking in, it looks that way. You know, we have the nice house, nice cars, 2 well-mannered, intelligent children, 2 happy people. That's as far as the tradition goes. That's it. That's it. Everything outside of that, we threw that shit away a long time ago.
Yeah, you know, but it's just like when I was reading a book with Seth Godin, he said this is strategy, and I really liked his example of this. It wasn't about marriage, but it was about systems to agree. And he was talking about how, you know, you cannot see the systems in which a solar system works.
Right.
You don't see all the forces that brings it together that makes it do what it does. You know, like the gravity that holds it in place. You don't see these things. And so I look at our marriage just like that. And it's just like anything, you know, like any system that exists, it's there, but you can't see it. Mm-hmm. It's working, but you can't see it. You can't see it and you can't touch it. It's just working. And that's what a good system is supposed to do. And so I look at our relationship the same way that I look at the solar system. It's the systems are there. And so since no one sees it, it appears traditional, but since you can't see the system that's actually running and operating it, it looks like it's something that is not, because it's the only thing that most people can associate with. So this is it right here. I think that today, maybe I might be an asshole when I say this. People equate, you know, a non-traditional marriage to failure. Okay. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's how I look at that. You know, so non-traditional marriage equals failure. A successful marriage equals tradition. I don't think that's true at all.
You know, I have an issue with that. Nope. Because every single traditional marriage that I've seen in my entire life.
Yeah, it was a failure.
It was a failure. Like, mind you, they stayed together until they died, but they could not stand each other.
But that's the thing that we need to stop believing. Longevity does not equate to success.
No, it never has.
It does not. It don't.
No.
Stop thinking it.
You know, because I guarantee you, back in the day, your grandmama couldn't stand your granddaddy. He was just a good provider.
Yeah.
You know, and some of those people that, you know, you grew up around, those extra cousins, those extra aunties and uncles and whatnot, they were more than family friends.
And so this is it, because this is the episode saying stop believing you know everything. So stop believing that what we consider tradition in marriages equates to a successful marriage. It does not.
It does not.
Especially with what we knew it to be.
Yes.
No, it didn't work. It don't work today. And matter of fact, I don't believe it worked then.
And you know, it didn't.
It just appeared.
It didn't.
It had an image of it working. That's about it.
But something that I think we do that is very, quote, I'm using air quotes, y'all, non-traditional.
They definitely see that.
Shut up.
With the broken fingers too.
Shut up. we audit where we're stuck, right? If things aren't aligning right for us, then we sit down, we have a conversation and say, hey, what's the problem? What's going on? You know, and a lot of times for us, it equates to something as simple as mindset. You know, you're thinking one thing, I'm thinking another, but we haven't sat down, had a conversation about it to put us both on the same page at the same time in the same book.
Matter of fact, let's be real. It happened right before we started recording. Literally, right before we started recording. You said, are you patronizing me? I was like, no, I'm not. I'm like, but if we want to have a productive conversation about this, we need to sit down and talk about it, because if I respond now, it's not going to it's not going to have the best outcome, even if it has good intentions.
Yeah.
I said, so we need to create an environment where we can have that discussion so we can address it and so we can move on from it. It literally happened right before we recorded.
It did. It did. You know, but also I will say this, I'll put us out there like that. 5 years ago, that wasn't us.
Yeah.
It wasn't, right? 5 years ago.
I won't say that. We had our moments.
We had our moments, yeah, but now with us, every moment is pretty much like that. You know, it's like, all right, hold on, wait a minute. Let's walk away and come back, because this shit's going to go south if we don't. And I think, you know, that's one of those things about, we used to believe that we could just say the shit we wanted to say and it would be well received, or just fuck it, it'll be received how it's received.
Yeah.
That doesn't work. That doesn't work, and that's auditing where we were stuck at. You know what I'm saying? That's like that's sitting down saying, hey, look, us believing this, it's not working for us. It doesn't help us in any way. It's not cultivating a good relationship. What are we going to do?
And the what you're saying is in the ebook that is being created, that's one of the principles, law of the ledger. In the law of the ledger, you got to make your audits.
Absolutely.
You have to.
Absolutely.
You have to make those audits, but I think that even, those things, people hear it and make sense of it. But what makes shit click, and even though it's right in people's face all the time, it's always movies.
Yeah.
It's always movies. It's things that's right in your damn face. You just love it, but you never really pay attention to it. And it's a lot of movies that I've seen that really reflect how we experience stuff.
Like what? Let's give an example.
Shit, I got several of them.
And example is one, not several, but go ahead.
All right, like this, because here we go. Because I'm going to use... All right.
Matrix?
There you
go.
go.
Again.
Oh
okay.
my God. There you go. Come on, dap it up. Come on home, girl. No, that's the wrong hand. But it's this right here. It's the Matrix. What Neo had to do, he had to stop believing that. What?
Nothing. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Neo, in the Matrix, what he had to do is he had to realize that he had to let go of what he was to become the one.
Yes.
He had to. So when he was in the Matrix or to become the one, he had to relinquish everything he knew. Matter of fact, Morpheus said, fear, doubt, and disbelief. Free your mind. Mm-hmm. And so until he let all of those elements of who he was go, what he what he knew or thought that he knew was truth, he had to let it go and adapt a new truth so he can evolve to be what he needs to be.
Okay.
So that was it.
I'm glad you brought that up because let's talk about that for a second, right? Let's discuss how not only did Neo break all those limiting beliefs that he had, mm-hmm. That shit was done in what you tell me, a day?
It was a day.
It was a day.
It was a day.
So if Neo can follow the white rabbit,
yes,
take the doggone pill,
yes,
meet Morpheus,
yes,
go see the Oracle, find the architect,
yep, all in one day,
and pretty much die and be reborn as the one in one day.
Yeah,
bro, you can spend a year fixing your shit. I'm just saying.
Yeah, you can.
You got a year to do it.
Look, we hey, just give it a couple. You don't have to take a whole life because you won't even get to enjoy it. So that's all I'm saying. Just be able to enjoy it. But it was just one movie though.
Yeah,
he had to let go of what he thought he knew. Everything to become what he needs to be. But this is a new one. Not new, but this was a true story. But we saw the movie Moneyball with Brad Pitt and Jonah Hill.
Yeah, that was a good movie.
It was that one.
Yeah.
True story. And the old mindset was this right here. They determined who should be on baseball teams based on who they based on how they thought they performed. Yes. That's what it was, just verbal confirmation.
There was no algorithm.
It was correct. And so Jonah Hill and Brad Pitt looked at it like, you know what? This can work. And so they constructed a team based off analytics and data.
Yes.
Even the people who looked like they didn't perform well, they served the purpose on the team.
They did. They filled the position.
So, but at the end, they didn't win. But someone took that same principle, adapted it, and they did win using it. And out the window went the old way of thinking. And so those old guys did not want to adapt a new way of thinking.
No, they didn't.
The new way of thinking was to look at the data and say, how do people perform and where do they belong? And so I thought that was one of the most amazing things I've personally ever seen in a movie.
Well, that was great. And I think that people don't realize, in that movie, had the old guys listened, they would have learned that admitting that they didn't know something wasn't a weakness. It was strategic. They could have monopolized on that a lot sooner.
But you know what's so crazy? You said if they knew, but they didn't know they didn't know.
That too is true.
That was the crazy part. They didn't know.
They didn't know what they didn't know. You're right.
They didn't. And so you know what we always do when we don't know something, we always resist change.
Change is hard, right?
Always do it.
And as humans, the bulk of us, the majority of humanity doesn't embrace change. We fight it because it's something new. It's scary. We don't know what's on the other side. But I also believe, once you get to a point to where you choose to grow in everything that you do, that's when, your beliefs are starting to expire. That is when you're able to listen to other people. That is when you are able to facilitate all kind of growth. And when you start to achieve the things that you thought were never possible, the shit that you only dreamt about. It's when you get over the other side, of those old beliefs, and you let that shit go. You cut them off, right? And I say that, and we all know they live in the back of your head for quite some time, right? It takes a while to overcome that because that voice has been beat into you or drilled into you your entire life. And now you're 35, 40 years old trying to let go of something that was old. It's not easy, right?
No, it's not.
But most of the things that we address on this podcast are not easy. If they were easy, people would already be doing them, right? But letting go of what doesn't work for you, it allows you to become a type of leader in your friend group, in your family, in your organization, whatever, right? It's like, if you think about it, because you've been corporate, right? At the place you're currently leaving is a corporate position.
Mm-hmm.
You were the first person in the whole building to adapt to some changes that rolled out. That in turn put you in the forefront of everybody else, even the person who was the ops director then before you.
Yes.
Right. And you being able to adapt to those changes is what made you the leader that you became and what gave you that ops position.
Yeah.
Right. Me not giving a damn and just rolling with the punches. Like, okay, it's a change. I'm a bitch about it behind the scenes, but to you, I'm with it. Let's do it. I got it. That's what keeps me in the position that I'm in. The only difference between you and I and everybody else is we sometimes throw caution to the wind and say, fuck it, let's do this. But you have to let go of everything that you learned before to be able to apply the new changes.
You do.
Otherwise, you're just, again, in the same loop.
And what we need to know or like based off information and data is that based off the information that's been provided is that kids normally adapt to change a lot quicker than someone older does. So what does that mean? Is that if you want to adapt or apply change, you might want to make sure that it happens at a younger age, because the older you get, the harder it begins to break old habits and patterns that have been that you have developed over time.
It becomes nearly impossible, or at least it feels impossible.
It does.
It's not impossible, but it does feel impossible.
So, say for instance, even like right now, you're 38, approaching 40.
Ooh.
And I'm 40.
Approaching 50. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's fine in mine for sure. There's experiences developing in me a little bit. So, but I lost my train of thought.
The 50-year-old brain, I'm telling you.
No, you interrupted me.
You do it to me all the time.
But yeah, I remember where I was at. But the older you get, it becomes harder to break those patterns.
It does.
So you have to identify those as soon as you can and try to correct those, because we've come across, scenarios where even with our show, it's hard for some people to address what we're talking about because they have to face themselves.
Yeah.
But we've noticed that it's normally people who've hit a certain age where it becomes a little bit harder to face.
Yeah.
So the number one thing we have to do identify is, even if you can't correct or fix everything that you're facing, what you need to do is help the kids identify those old ass beliefs right now, so they can change it, so they can have a better future.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the number one skill is, how do you identify a bad issue, or bad or old mindset? You got to be able to identify that. That's going to look a little bit different for everybody.
Yeah.
So yeah, that definitely has to be identified for sure. Know how to do it anyway.
I think part of that is being able to stay curious.
Yeah.
I'm not saying, not like in the conversation, loss of innocence we had, not that kind of curiosity, right? It's just staying curious, questioning yourself, everything around you, the systems you're involved in. Just stay curious, ask questions.
Well, the question would be like, why does that thing work so well? Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. Or what's that invisible force that makes that thing work?
Right. I mean, seriously, it's like, or either say, for instance, something even more simple. You have a friend who is a great parent, right? And you're like, how do you get your kids to do X, Y, and Z? It's a simple ass question that we don't mind asking our friends, right? Take those same questions that you're not afraid to ask someone close to you and ask yourself.
Like this right here, because you're talking about kids. Based off data and statistics, I can't remember, but it's like high 70 to 80 percentile. Gentle parenting yields better results than the old systems that we grew up with.
Yes, it does.
It does.
It does. It's funny. Yeah. We crack jokes about it because I tell you all the time. I crack jokes, and you and I talk about how we don't have gentle kids to gentle parent, but in all actuality, we do gentle parent.
And right, but so I'll get to that. What happens is that these kids, like with the gentle parenting, the data says is this right here: they're more emotionally well-rounded overall. But I would say what we do is not necessarily gentle.
It's a mix.
It's hybrid.
It's definitely hybrid.
It's hybrid.
It's one of those things it's funny. We're laughing, but it's a situation with our children where we have a 4-year-old and essentially a 13-year-old. So we're dealing with toddler stages and adolescence shifting to teenage years. There are days where it's complete peace in our house and everything is beautiful and it's great. Then there are days like the other day where I literally told our 13-year-old, if you don't get out of my face, I'm going to chop the shit out of you. I'm going to punch you in your throat. Is that gentle parenting? No. Would I actually do it to her? No. Is she afraid that I will? Yes.
It works.
It works, right? But also, we're not taking a belt out and cussing them out and screaming at them and beating them for everything they do. Y'all, I think people confuse, and I really hate, I'm going to say this, I really hate that people associate gentle parenting with whiteness. Stop that shit. Gentle parenting is nothing more than being kind to your children. Treating your children like humans. It's not beating them, it's a fucking submission.
That's what's so disturbing. We were so used to getting our ass beat so much. We normalized getting the shit beat out of us.
We normalized child abuse.
Man. And that's what's crazy about it. We think that's what parenting is when a kid, does something that we don't agree with.
Yeah.
It's to just beat the shit out of them.
Yeah.
It's crazy as hell how we normalize that.
Yes. It is, and it's wrong. And that's why I say, stop equating gentle parenting with whiteness. It's not the same thing.
Come on, dab it up on that one. Yeah.
It's just not. You know what I mean?
And we laugh at it.
We do laugh at it.
We laugh at it.
Because I have friends who tell me all the time, if my kid would have said or done that, I'd beat the shit out of them. Good for you. I'm not beating my child for having an emotional response to something. If anything, we're going to talk about this. Because, okay, why do you feel that way? What happened?
Because we do need to address, because at the end of the day, they're still human too. They're humans, they have feelings.
People forget that.
And they have bad days just like we do.
People forget that. You know what I mean? Like we'll use Xavier, our 4-year-old, right? Yeah. Little dude is so emotionally aware, it's insane. He get his feelings hurt. Or we fuss at him or yell at him. He'll go to his room and cry. Then he'll come out and say, I need a hug. Yeah. And it's like, hey, bro, you just yelled at me. And now my feelings are hurt. I need some kind of comfort. But the fact that he is 4 years old and he can do that. Otherwise, I know people who literally yell at their kids, scream at them. Their kids go to their room and cry. Then you go beat the shit out of them because they're crying.
Yeah.
That's stupid. Let that shit go. Just because your parents beat the shit out of you don't mean you beat your children. Stop that. You know, and that's another thing, right? Where it's an outdated mindset. And it's dragging you down and it's dragging your children down because now that's why we got so many. I stand on this hill. You've heard me say it before, Courtney, and I say it all the time. That's why so many men are pissed off and fucked up out here. Because they're taught early on, boys don't cry. Boys don't feel emotions. Boys don't discuss their feelings. And then you beat the shit out of them. And they can't voice this anywhere. So yeah, they angry and they mad. You got 40-year-old men out here who pissed off at the whole wide world. All they know is anger. They can't process any other emotions.
And then we wonder why some of them abusive as hell.
That's what I'm saying. Like
that's what they know.
That's it. Or even women, right? Because now, I ain't gonna lie to you, I ain't gonna hold you. There are more women who out here beating on dudes. Like a lot of them. And it starts early because you don't give these children space to explore their feelings. And you don't do that shit because you need to be on somebody's couch somewhere. Yeah. Talking about how your mama beat the shit out of you. But it's a mindset shift. It has to shift.
And that shit is old.
Yes.
It's old. It's an old way of punishment or addressing an issue. It does not benefit today. It's old.
It is. And and people say that stupid ass shit. What is it? Spare the rod, spoil the child from the Bible. I hate that shit. That's dumb. And that's stupid. I've never understood that.
I never understood, like today when I look at it, I'm like, how do we not realize that shit is outdated? It don't work no more.
It is.
Why don't we see that?
It is.
And we have a lot of work to do. We have a lot of work to do and a lot of unlearning and relearning that we have to do. And it's not always an easy process to do. But that shit right there has to take place. It has to be done. Because otherwise, ain't no such thing as growth or getting better.
Correct.
You're living with that conflict within yourself, wanting a great outcome, but you living or performing low performance.
Yes.
You cannot get high performance results by performing low.
No.
You know what I'm saying? That's a conflict.
That goes back to what I said earlier. So, you have parents out here teaching their children that excellence is the expectation.
But you ain't showing them shit.
But you're underperforming.
Yourself. They don't see.
So
they don't see top performing.
What do you expect them to do? They're following the lead. Children live what they learn. They're learning from you.
Yeah.
So if your mindset is fucked, your kids are gonna be fucked. Don't be mad.
Don't be mad at the
when
kids.
They turn out just like you because that's what you taught them. That's your fault. Your children are a direct reflection of you. Now, I'm not saying you don't have the one-offs, right?
Oh, yeah. You can't stop that.
Because we have a few family members that make you want to shake them because they know better for the stupid shit they do.
I mean, the reason why is because everybody's their own individual and their person. They get to make their own decisions and choices. Every scenario ain't gonna be the perfect one. And that's not what we discuss. We don't talk about because if you do this, it's gonna be perfect. No. Perfection's not real. Y'all heard me say that a million times. No, we just help put things in place. Yes. That's it. Yes. And it's up to everyone else to adopt those principles or those mindsets and incorporate them in their life if they so choose to. And there are a couple of questions that you and I often ask ourselves, and it's which is what, like what outdated mindsets we're bringing to our future. What does that look like? And if we're bringing them, if they don't serve us, then we talk about how we let that go. How do we move on from that? What does that look like? Correct. Right. And then I think another question that we've asked each other, we've talked about this on road trips and for hours before, but it's what belief or behaviors are we protecting that no longer serves us? I know we talk about it, but those things right there are very difficult for people to address, Erica. Oh, yeah. That's difficult to address because now I'm not just facing me now. I'm not facing where I'm at. I'm facing where I came from. Yes. And just imagine if not you, but if you didn't do the audit. Mm-hmm. If you didn't do the audit and now you just did the audit, shit. Kind of like in the TV show Lock and Key, where the uncle,
Oh yes, he had to be locked back up because he couldn't.
It's not that he couldn't be locked back up. It's that his,
No, that's what I'm saying. Like they had to lock him back up because his mind he couldn't deal.
He couldn't deal with it. He was breaking.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's exactly what happens when you do the audit too late.
Yep. Yep. Or like, I don't remember his name, but the dad on the Fall of the House of Usher.
Yeah.
Toward the end when Nevermore was coming for his ass, he was like, I should have done things differently. Sir, you about to die. It don't even matter at this point. It's too late. You lost all your children because you made a bad deal early on and you couldn't do anything about it.
But that's when we all care.
Yeah, when it's too late.
We care when it's too late. We don't care when it can be corrected, when it can be fixed. No, even when you have the chances in between, you know what we don't do?
We don't fix it.
We don't fix it. And then at the end, that's when we say, I didn't mean to do that. I'm so sorry.
Or that's why,
But now it's too late.
It's too late. That's why you have so many deathbed for, regrets, people begging for forgiveness, apologies, confessions. Don't wait until you're at the end to shift your mindset. Do not wait until it's too late to let go of those old belief systems that don't serve you. Let that shit go now.
Yeah, so stop thinking y'all know everything, okay? There's anybody. Stop thinking you know everything and adopt a new way of thinking.
Yes.
Please do so. So we go get ready to close this out, baby. You got anything that you need to leave before we go?
Yeah, I really want everyone to think about, what I just said. What beliefs or behaviors are you protecting that don't serve you, that don't help you? What beliefs do you have that you're holding on to, that you're passing down to your children that don't serve you? What mindset are you holding on to that prevents you from being the person you dream about being?
Yeah. I don't have anything to leave behind. I'm going to just leave it with her. You laid it out, babe. You the one. You the Neo in my life right now.
You could have said forever, but I'll take it.
Okay. I mean, I like the Matrix, so I had to say it. So. Yeah. Hey, everyone, we thank you so much for listening to the Students of Life podcast. And we will be back. And one more thing. I apologize for leaving this out. We have an ebook coming, and we're going to keep everybody updated about it. And so just subscribe on Spotify, Apple, and Audible. And
YouTube. We're now on YouTube.
Also, and TikTok too. So thank you for listening. This has been the Students of Life podcast, everybody. Live and learn.
Life is a lesson.